Darlings, I wanted to pop in. I have some enormous news for you and I'm going to try and do a 10-minute video. So I will come back to you to talk about everything that has happened. But what happened, we had on the 4th of July, Independence Day, the weekend between the 4th and the 6th, that I said that here in France, between Toulouse and Castres, T20, Castres 23, we had between the 4 and the 6, that's 64, Dirty Diana. Diana died 64 years ago on the 1st of July. And then I told you in my last video that this was the build-up. So this weekend, the Seine opened, the Seine is open, the Seine, the Dirty Diana, the Paris River has opened for people to swim in. And on the 4th of July, we had on the 25th of June for this new moon in Gemini. So the new moon in Gemini, right on the knee and on the ankle. This is the calf area. Normally the true calves is Aquarius. Gemini, the fake air, as Mercury entered Cancer. He's entered the fertility, the home of the moon. And as I've told you, we're going to have on the little claw, the little prince, the son of Diana, Will.I.Am, Telltale. So for that new moon, floods in Paris, incredible, terrible floods. And then on the 4th of July, as Will.I.Am, Telltale, and I wrote in my newsletter the night before, just like for the Carolina floods, I did a whole article about Florida, the floor, the gut of Ida, because they put in all the fields here, coriander, the core of Ida, the core, and I'm thinking, why? Why? It stinks, it smells. And then on the 27th of September, the Cairo line floods. So that was marking the passage. So in 2024, on the 9th, the 27, Mars was on Sirius and Jupiter was still on between the horns on the bullseye. So they were marking the passage. And then Mars went into Cancer, went retrograde. So that was all that time. We come into the 25th, and on the 1st they had the Pope opening on the 1-1, and we had in New Orleans, Orléans, the Gold Lion, the Merlion in Orleans. There was a car crash, and then there was Super Bowl, and the Pope opened the 5 doors, and I told you I had 5 owls in my house. I filmed it. And then carry on. Then now there's Mars. Mars has now entered the home of the sun, Leo. So there's the last time I spoke to you, Princess Diana's birthday. So 64 years ago, and on the weekend of the 4/6. Don't forget Stephen Paddock at Las Vegas in 2016. There's crossovers. When William came here, he shot from the 32nd floor. And yeah, what was killed there was 14 children, 32 in the floods. I live in the 32nd department, and I told you the house, they've left the passage, the 14 pieces of Osiris, all for one and one for all, D'Artagnan. So the floods on the 4th, and we've got Venus combust, Uranus, under the 7 sisters. Combust. Uranus and Venus combust under the 7 sisters. And wait till you see this. This is not over, because this happened. The floods in Paris. So this is Chat, the cat, Puss in Boots. PT, Paris, Texas. I've been talking to you about the film Paris, Texas. You've got the ice at the moment. Everyone's being shut up in Los Angeles in ice. Doesn't matter who you are, you're sent back to your country, or you're stuck in ice. Ice is the embryo, it's the freezing. And today, on the front page of the newspapers, we have got, in my village, the egg, Aignan, Abby Pierre, and here we go. Thanks to artificial intelligence, we can determine the sex. A robot prevents the crushing of female ducklings. So, oh great, they're no longer gonna crush all the females. This robot that cost 4.8 million in my tiny weeny village. So, enormous amount of animals are sacrificed where I live. I once walked into a big hall 5-6 years ago. I went to go and look for somebody, and I walked into this hall and they had all these baby cows tied up. And yeah, I mean, I am living in the level of the frequency. This is Narnia. I told you, this is the 5-pointed star. I haven't come to this village for nothing. They didn't kill my dog on the day of the 2019 Appy. So look, today's the 7725. That's 777 LIBER. That's the passage through. And these little baby ducklings. So there's one duck, two ducks, and now there's only one duck left. Two ducks, that's a canary wolf in England. They show you the two ducks. That makes the heart 22, catch 22. And then there's only one duck. And that's what they're saying. This machine in our village, here it is in the newspapers today. Thanks to artificial intelligence, we can determine the sex of a robot. In Aignan, Gers, a robot equipped with artificial intelligence is revolutionizing egg sexing in the Gascon hatchery. So this is why this book was written about my village. This is why Prince William came here to the Well of the Dragon. And this is all the connection with Diana, the floods in Texas, ChatGPT, Jupiter and Mercury, and now Venus, the breast of Venus, the revolution. And we've got Saturn going retrograde on the 13th for the 14th Bastille Day, and then Mercury on the Little Prince, on the claw. He goes, there's the 4th, 5th, 6th. Today is the 7th. The sun is on Sirius, the keeper of the four corners. We've got Jupiter in detriment. This is AI. This is why everyone's talking about AI. Uranus is not in Gemini. Jupiter, the fate god, he is in Gemini, taking the air, the prince of the airwaves. Mercury rules Gemini. Mercury is on AI today. I said in the last video, this is AI. What happens today? Cancer, fertility. And this is the Janus. That's why we had the Orleans, the Bowl, Super Bowl in January the 1st, and then on July the 1st for Diana's birthday. And I did that video and I said AI. And then it comes out today, the egg. There will no longer be female eggs. You know, this is the brave new world. We're right there. So 10, 11. So on the 14th, Bastille Day, the Little Prince, Mercury is on the claw. The famous film I showed you, 1969, the nail clippers, Le Pince à Ongles. Over. So over, cut, 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 JL cut, JL cut. So Mars is in the home of the sun is on Sirius, Mercury is in the home of the moon, and on the 14th, Venus is going to be on the bullseye, as Mercury is here. And then for the day that Mercury goes retrogrades, so well, we've actually, yeah, this is a big day, the 31st. So the 31st, Venus lights that torch, Lucifer, lol. Okay, I want to keep this a quick video because I'll come back to explain everything, but I just want to explain to you this ChatGPT complete takeover, and that they are officially showing you in my village, in the heart of the 5-pointed star, the egg. That's why Puss in Boots kills the egg. So I just finished these pictures. So there's one, that is the canary wolf. They show you the crane, always the crane, the crâne, the L. the duck is showing you it's in your brain. These are the temples, the 5-pointed star, the eye, the 5-pointed star, the can adder, the tin can, life in a tin can. There's Puss in Boots. He kills the egg, and I showed you that the summer solstice is now Sagittarius at the top and Scorpio. I showed you that for the summer solstice, so the summer solstice, the meridian ley line, Scorpio is under here. So I would imagine, and there's Puss in Boots and Scorpio. Puss in Boots right under Ukraine, and he kills the egg, Europe, the fertility. So there, Puss in Boots, egg. So this is, today comes out on 777, LIBER. There's always the yellow dressed as the canary. It's the red nose, Rudolf Steiner, black and white. I'm not going to go into big here right now. Cain and Abel, the can. This is the passage. They're showing you the corridor. They're showing you the can, the canon, the palma, the can. The red and yellow is masculine and black and white is feminine. Life in a tin can. Yes, we can. The ducks, killing all the ducks. We're going into the age of air. Ducks. And this Candice, 1969, where they're closing the A69 motorway. The can. The Moulin Rouge. The Canard Enchaîné. This is your 22, your catch 22, the heart passage, the diving duck. It's the summer triangle with the diving duck, Deneb, Lupiac in the middle. So they had, Lupiac was all over the newspapers. They didn't win, but Lupiac was the 12th to be voted the best village in France. They became 10th, because 10 you can't get to 1, 2. So Lupiac was 10th. So we're coming up to this Bastille Day. This is the big day, the breast. The can, there's no Madeleine, amygdala, pale stone. The amygdala is pale, pale. The can, life in a tin can, because Madeleine, the amygdala, is out, over, no more blood circulates. This is Odyssey 2001 is the 21 tarot card, which is the passage. So my village is on the North Polaris, and we are on the 0 meridian ley line. We're at 0. So today is the 777, the 2 temples, the 2 coin, 777 makes 777, the cornerstone, and there's the passage, the LIBER, the passage of the 21 tarot cards. It's Lion, Merlion, and there ice, the house in my village that came down, number 17, with the passage in the middle, and the 99 from Paris, Texas. And what happened? Texas got flooded. P.T. Cat, Puss in Boots, Paris, Texas. And I tried to explain to you, David Bowie taking the fertility. This is your brainstem, Rumpelstiltskin, that takes, if you don't know your name, if you don't know your enemy, and this is the cornerstones. It's the 2 corners of the brain to get to the eye, and there's your 69, Pete and Paul, 2 little, and the N of the Aleph Tav in the middle, and my village is called Aignan, la N, the baleine, the whale's tail in French. A whale, the Prince of Wales, the whale, where is Willie? Will I am is a bal, N, the N. So there's the 2 corners in the brain. 1, 2 corners, the 2 guns. And now this is it. There's only 1 side left. So the two birds make the amygdala, the brainstem, to get to the fertility, for the fertility and this child. So there she is in the passage, and I saw another one of these cards where they've taken away Aquarius and they've put Sagittarius there in the corner. So, you know, this is the egg of creation. We saw Kate Perry coming out of the egg. It's this north and south node, the dragons. This is the fifth element between the four corners. And here we go, those little duckies. In the sanitized room of Enyo Hatchery in the west of the jails department, a huge robot is working at full capacity in its articulated arms. I drove past yesterday and thought, what the hell is that smell? Hundreds of eggs parade, moving from one area to another behind a protective grill. The machine is busy with high-precision operation, the embryonic sexing of the ducklings. That is the identification of their sex before hatching. There is the breast of Venus. Abba is the Abbé Pierre, the BB, Abbé Pierre for Quasimodo, and there is the book On My Village with the passage written by an American. J is Scorpio. Will I Am Hudson. And it's considered one of the biggest classics ever, written on my tiny Apple, the app, ab app. You know, why on earth would my tiny wee little village be? So there we have, and there's where William came, Puy Daga, Zion, and there's Lupiac. Okay. Floods in Paris on the new moon in G Gemini 25 June, Ginger Cat. Then on the 4th of July, Independence Day, as Neptune goes retro in P Pisces on the whale's tail, and Saturn goes retro Bastille Day. Uranus, Venus combust on the 7G, that's your G chat GPT, sisters T Taurus, in Taurus, Jupiter ruler and detriment in Gemini with Sun, AI, God, Dog on Sirius. Sun still in Gemini, Texas floods, home of Travis, Paris, Texas, ChatGPT. So, Neptune, Saturn, the 4th of July. I told you this guy in Texas, YouTube, Andrew Cross, dies at 36, the closing of the wheel. We're in the new world now. There's Travis with his red hat. I've been showing you. I showed you. This is from the song of the Cranberry star Beetlejuice. She dies at 46 years old. This is the 4th to the 6th of July, and that's in her video Zombie. St. Andrew in the middle. So the guy in our village called Andrew dies on the day that the Queen dies, when Mars is on the bullseye, and we're about to have Venus on the bullseye. So my dog was sacrificed on the Easter day 2019 as Mars, and then 3 weeks later 2019 Venus was on the bullseye, and an alpha male was killed in my village. So we're going to have Venus. So there, JM Baghdad Cafe. Is this shot in Texas, this film? Prince Andrew sexually abused her, given 4 days, the bullseye, her eye, and then she dies. There he is, Andrew Cross. Dreza Difter dies after being taken off life support. And there is the great eclipse. Bang on the whale. This is the whale. This is the whale. There's the whale's tail down here. So ChatGPT, Paris, Texas. There is the Eiffel Tower in Texas. Paris, Texas, the cat, the Tomcat. They've got the roadworks, A69 between Toulouse and Cass, Tom Cruise. This is the bee. Yellow and black is the bee. And Mercury, it was on the beehive when I did the video on the 7-1. So on the 7-2, 3, 4, it was on this star here, but on the day I did the video on the 3, 4 under the beehive. This is the beehive cluster. This is the beehive cluster. This is the bee. This is the number 13. This is the Little Prince, the bee. Yellow and black, the bee. Yellow, yellow, red, black, white, the cat on a hot tin roof. There it is. And what's the famous film? Flow. And what's Flow all about? The floods. It's the cat. It's Osiris. It's the keeper of the four corners. So there's that film Flow, all about floods. Cat in the Hat comes back, and Puss in Boots that kills the egg. Alien is the egg, and she shows you the ginger cat, This is the story of water. Oh, the passage. This is a terrible story of complete. Somebody gave me that book to read when I was really young, and it really traumatized me, and I was never able to finish the book. It's a complete masochistic to the most horrendous degree, and it's showing you, oh, Oz. So Zoom, Skype, all over, saying Skype's over, Skype's finished. So sky is the sky. To reach the sky, all you have now is Oz, Zoom, Z-O-O-M, Zoom, Zodiac. And the O, the passage. So the whale's tail, the wings of Lucifer, the whale's tail, and there, bullseye, the floods. And the floods was in Florence, and Florence, people saying Florence and the Machine. Florence and the Machine is FM, female to male, and it's the Free Martins. It's the Free Martin, a Brave New World, Free Martins in a Brave New World. Why is it called? Because does a Free Martin have to be a twin? Why are Free Martins sterile? So you can't actually read that without. I have been able to open it before. Just let's look at the images. It's the Free Martin. This is Florence and the Machine. This is FM. Free Martin. Let's show you the bullseye. So Free Martin, sterile. Showing you for years. So Taurus and Gemini, the twins, Mars and Venus, and now the female will take on the male hormones. And it, heard about Free Martinism, Free Martins. This is your Florence and the Machine, FM. So I haven't really been in to the floods to really get in and to see, and I'm so sorry. It seems like, they didn't tell anybody. They just let the floods, exactly like when I was in New Zealand. It's just terrible. So this is in the film Flow. You've got this whale, and that's it. So I've just done a few posts trying to explain. In my newsletter that I did on the Wednesday night, I took that from the newsletter and I put 4th of July, Independence Day, and Saturn goes on the 13th. Watch out, this is the William Tell. I wrote big, this is it. This is the splash. So yeah, this woman explains really, people think narcissists, no, but you don't know what narcissists are until you've really, this is why the masses must experience the truth of AI. Because unless you have known what it is to survive, escape, and be the victim to these demons that pass off as a saint, you just don't know. As long as you stroke their fur in the right direction, you're fine. But if you see through them, game over. Same thing with AI. And it's going to turn on you. AI is just love bombing for the moment. This is how Odyssey 2001. This is the 201 passage. So, yeah, but she just says it very well. So there is the floods. Absolutely horrendous. So this, again, I'm showing you the gap on the front page of the newspapers on the day, on the 5th of July, or was this on the 4th? They say the paintings of Buffet, where I live, are found in Marseille. So they've gone from where I live to Marseille, from crossing over France, over that passage. And what do they show you? The gap. They show you the gap. There's the gap. This is the famous film La Vie est Belle. I always show you, they show you the gap, always. If you're hungry and want a snack, there he's showing you the gap, the passage. This is the passage in the brain. That is the day they killed my dog. The corridor is the corridor. The corridor. The gap. The gap. Mind the gap. Mind, there's the labyrinth in my village. The gap. This is what they've done. They're showing you. He's showing you the gap. Orion, he's showing you the winter and the summer triangle merging, and this is the passage through to your higher self, or you get eaten. So this is what happened. They're saying in the jail, 6 suspects were arrested near Marseille 6 months after. So again, it's this Janus, winter, summer, just like in New Orleans, they had the people being run over by the truck, and then they had the Super Bowl. So 3 million euros. By the way, this it's 33 departments that they showed you the spine again. So Narnia, the passage where I live, it's this gap, it's the wardrobe, and this is what he paints. He paints the red nose, the clown, your amygdala. This is showing you that white is the passage. So this is the girl who came out of the Olympics. She was taken out of the eclipse for whipping a horse, doing passage, and then she was allowed back in 6 months later. Piaf and passage. It's the passage. Don't try to escape. Follow all commands without asking questions. And third, anyone who protests will be executed. This is your last chance to get through the passage. All these people just using AI. I'm just no way. I did a recording for Patreon with my lovely friends, and I did a reading for my friend, and I said, look, I've still got to work because I was writing a feedback for a natal reading I did, which always takes me an hour and a half. And she said, what are you doing? Look, I'm going to write a feedback of the reading you did me. So I actually thought she was going to go and write it, and then she sent it, and it's like done brilliantly. And I said to her, is that ChatGPT? And I've actually put it into my Patreon so people can see. But I said to her, I really don't want, now ChatGPT has listened to me. No, it's taken my energy, and I didn't want that. But anyway, I am already on the other side. I can see it. So look, that is showing you the passage. This is the girl in the passage. That white is the passage. There is the white, the passage. The passage. Orion, the passage. Osiris is the passage. The passage, the brainstem. There's your LL, the T. There is your T. There is the 2 corners. Today is 77. The 4 corners of your brain and the brainstem. If you've reached higher consciousness, you're fine, but most people have got no idea. There's the egg, the A-lion. This is the lien, the link. Lion is the Nile, the link, the Cairo line. The labyrinth, the 13 is the bee. The 13th nerve cranial is. So there, this is, and then today, front page, they've got this new AI machine for the egg in our village. And there is the corridor in the little pass. He sticks his head out, and what is he showing you? He's showing you the corridor. And what she's hoovering, she's the maid. That's your Virgo, that is the maids. And just the head is left. Can you get through the corridor to the heads? Lord of the Rings, they show you the passage through the temples. This is the works on the A69. They show you the passage. And there's the house in my village knocked down. 14 pieces of Osiris, the four corners, and it was knocked down by the company JM. And there it's written Vivaldi, the four seasons, the four corners of your brain. There is the Amygdala, the steeple in our church. There is the passage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And they've taken out the stone. And they show you the clown. And now Buffet, who painted the clowns, his art, which is about the same amount, 4.8 million, which is the same amount of the AI machine. So the maple flower in Canada, the can. Mind the gap. Mind the gap. And that's the A69. And that is the stone they knocked off the four corners. And that is like that picture of Trump that I showed you. This is Sirius, the keeper of the four corners, the side, the Orion on the side, and they knocked off his head. What kind of builders? They were just meant to put in the bakery, and they knocked out the windows of the neighbors. I mean, there's, you know. So this is it. This is the can. There's your JM who knocked down the house. And that's all I'm gonna, so there's your passage, the 3773. This is L, the day before the floods, happened on the night between the 3rd and the 4th. And there's your Andrew passage. It happened on the L. And there he is, Buffet, and they show you the passage. They show you the passage. He's got his hidden hand, just like Macron's wife hit him with the hand. He dies in 1999. 10th of July he's born, the 1-7 and the 4-10, which is 4-1, all for one and one for all. And there is the passage in his teeth. Okay, so I hope you get just how important this is that we've just done the Paris GPTG, the Paris, Texas, the floods on the 25th. In Paris, and on the 4th as Neptune went retrograde. So now we've got Saturn going retrograde on the 13th, and we have got Mercury going retrograde on the 17th. And this month, so I wrote this before I knew about the floods. Saturn square to Jupiter is making mass awareness of the dangers of Jupiter in detriment, fate god in AI Gemini, chat cat in the hat, G Gemini, Puss in Boots, dresses his master, and mini-me is your fate reflection in the black mirror. Communication as Mercury ruler Gemini is in Cancer and will go retro the 17th of July. On the claw of the little prince of darkness, chat GPT, Paris, Texas. This is before I knew about the floods. I always pick up on things into it, and I feel it happening. Venus on the Pleiades, Seven Sisters, Saturn in Pisces, Jupiter goes retro the 13th of July. This is why everyone is questioning and beginning to see, as I say, this will be a 3-year window, but most potent now as Neptune, Saturn conjunct on the whale's tail. After that, the path is taken. People will have to choose now or machines, because Saturn is bringing up to the fore authenticity, conjunct Neptune, as Jupiter, the true ruler of Pisces, is in Gemini, ChatGPT. So this is that film, Her, and there she'll have my name and my face, but she won't be me. Every man dreams of having the perfect wife. The men of Stepford have done something about it. So this is the same as what they're doing with the egg, the sterilization. This is your P, cat, Osiris, that's the cat, the cross, and the two little dicky birds. And look, Sagittarius, that's not Aquarius. They've taken out Aquarius and put Sagittarius right there. The story of O, the water, the story of O, the floods. This is before I knew about the floods. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. I'm showing you. I'm showing you Free Martinism, Florence and the Machine, FM. Looney Tunes. In the Passage. This is the Deep Blue, Rosanne Arquette and Léon, Elon, Contact, Les Yeux de Mona, The Four Corners, The Cat Comes Back, and that was for the 3rd of July. So I knew, I was showing you. And on the night of the 3rd of July to the 4th, we had the floods. This is the passage. This is when, and there I show you Paris, Texas, and we have the floods. Turkish delight. You've got to get yourself together. You've got to get through the screen. You've got to come through the other side. All these people who don't understand. So I put 777 and there is the egg. And today they officially show you in my village on 777 that there will be no more female egg. That's it. The N, that's Bernard, what's he called again? Bernard Pivot, the turning round. So he is the Polaris, the bear. And they show you the man, always the back, looking at the four corners. So he had the famous series Apostrophe. And when I first came to France, and my sister-in-law went onto his program and she was run over the same day and broke her leg, but still went on to do the show because her first book, I was 16, she was 26, and I sat with all my French family in the middle of Paris and we watched her on his program to present her first book, which was her story called Porte 17, Porte 55, 70, oh my God, door 17. That's the door that came down in my village. Marie Lebé, Porte 55, Porte 17. This was her story of the affair. This is her book. 17 years old, door 57. The Shah of Iran was 57 and she was 17, and she went to live with the Shah of Iran. She was picked up in Paris and her first book made her famous. And she was my sister-in-law. Pretty terrifying for me. But, she's born exactly opposite me, where she's the Virgo and I'm the Pisces. So, I love her. But and her ex-husband, the footballer, is now the Green Giant. He's the Green. Dominique Rocheteau has just brought out his book, The Stone, Rocheteau, The Stone of Water. Here he is, her husband, and he has just brought out his book. He was known as the Green. This is his book. And he's, the green, because he was such an exemplary football player. Anyway, there's a lot more to it, but that is was called Apostrophe, which is the 69, the 99. You want to get to Capricorn, it's 96. Cancer is 69. Passage we're going through. ChatGPT, the gap. It takes a lot of courage to break the spells we have put ourselves under. Okay, so yeah, I always hated that book. I always knew it was about, this is the gap between Gemini, the twins. It's Mercury. right on the 7/5. So that was before I'd found out about the floods. Okay, darlings, we did 40 minutes, and I'll be back soon, but I just wanted to tell you how enormous this is on the front page of the newspaper today. Thanks to artificial intelligence, we can determine the sex. A robot prevents the crushing of female ducklings. What they really mean is instead of crushing them, they kill them before now. They will only have male ducklings. This is the can. This is can. Okay, bye my darlings.